Greetings, everybody. Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Today, on this episode, we are going to start the third chapter. Oh, you know what? I placed the chapter change at the end, but let's kind of take a peek at it now. This chapter is called Rise of the Horde. This is the last full chapter we're going to have to get through before we start talking about the events of the first game, Orcs and Humans. So this looks like we have armies of orcs in the foreground going up against armies of Draenei in the background. We have burning Draenei cities in the background. So this looks like war between the Draenei and the orcs is inevitable just from this picture alone. Fire blazing in between them. Pretty neat picture. Looks like we've got some Vindicars with their Retribution Paladin style. We've got some Prot Pallies in the back with some shields. It looks like maybe we've got some Rangari. Just some looking cool in the background. So probably, got some holy ones too. We got a leader up here. All right, so I'm excited to get into that. Why don't you stay a while and listen, and we'll start this first one of Chapter 3. It is called The Second Invasion of Azeroth. Okay, I somehow think that these two are... What we just talked about is only going to be tangentially related to a war between orcs and Draenei. For millennia after the Draenei fled Argus, Sargeras and his legion continued their burning crusade. Demons laid waste to countless worlds, burning entire civilizations from existence, yet there was one world that turned the legion back, Azeroth. And we read... It was so epic to defeat Sargeras, we read a 3-part trilogy all about it, War of the Ancients. Azeroth was an extraordinary place. It contained a nascent titan spirit, one destined to become more powerful than Sargeras himself. Now, we have never... That's a reveal. So this is going to be a mega titan. Azeroth's like the prime deity. The Legion's ruler knew that if it fell to the Void Lords, Azeroth would become a weapon that not even he could stand against. Okay, so remember he's in the back of his mind, he does all this for good. If this is a corrupted Titan, it could be the ultimate weapon of evil, because he doesn't consider himself evil. However, it can also be the ultimate force for good. I'm not sure. I feel like there's some Titan that comes. I feel like this Titan gets a name. Maybe in BFA. I didn't pay as much attention to the storyline around Legion and BFA, so I don't fully remember. All right. Sargeras was eager to conquer Azeroth before the Void Lords shrouded it in darkness. To do so, he launched a massive invasion of the world. Demons of all kinds flooded into Azeroth, slaughtering its inhabitants and inundating the wilds with fell magic. The War of the Ancients had begun. Then the impossible happened. Led by a noble race called the Night Elves, Azeroth's native creatures overcame the invading legion and banished it back to the twisting nether. Okay. The defeat infuriated Sargeras. He became obsessed with seizing Azeroth at any cost, and he plotted a second invasion. Many challenges faced the Legion's ruler, not the least of which was bringing his demons to the world again. It was no simple task to open portals between the twisting nether and the physical universe that were large enough and stable enough for armies to pass through. It required astronomical amounts of energy. In the first invasion, the Legion had harnessed the power of Azeroth's Well of Eternity. This enormous fount of arcane magic allowed the demons to craft a gateway to the nether, yet the Well of Eternity was now gone, destroyed by Azeroth's defenders. Finding another way to breach the world was not impossible, but it would take time and great effort. What was more, Sargeras wanted to be certain that when the Legion did invade, it would face no heavy resistance. He wanted Azeroth's inhabitants to be broken before his demons set foot on the world. An idea took shape in Sargeras' mind. He and his legion would find new weapons that they could use to soften Azeroth's defenders before a proper demonic invasion force arrived. Sargeras ordered his followers to scour the universe for suitable races to corrupt and add to the legion's ranks. Meanwhile, the fallen Titan focused his attention on Azeroth itself. He sought out a powerful individual there, someone who would serve as a vessel to begin the next invasion. Now, we already know from the last Chronicles that he finds Aegwynn, and somehow he gets his Titan. I would like to have that explained a little bit more, maybe in this book. But he gets his Titan, not Titan, Avatar. He gets his Avatar on Earth, and then he breaks off a piece of himself inside her. And so she is tainted, but even more importantly, her future unborn child, Medivh, he becomes the ultimate one. Second Well of Eternity, we do know there's a second Well of Eternity up in Mount Hyjal. Though the Well of Eternity was destroyed, not all of its energies were gone. A night elf named Illidan Stormrage had stolen some of the fount's waters. With it, he created a new Well of Eternity. Sargeras and his legion would eventually learn of its existence, but they would not be able to use this new source of power as easily as they had the first Well of Eternity. The second fount was capped by Nordrassil, a colossal world tree enchanted to protect the well's energies, which we read about in the final couple chapters of our trilogy. All right, so that was a recap of a lot of things that we have already read. I think that we did have an interesting reveal about the Titan in Earth, but we're just building up because we know to get to be able to breach the pipeline from Draenor to Azeroth, you need the portal. You need the dark portal. That's going to require Sargeras' influence. So in this chapter, and maybe a little bit over the next chapter, that has to happen, which is probably why this chapter is so long. All right, guys, another episode in the Pipes 5x5. I will catch you on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.